Welcome back. It's Ed Martin here on the Pro America Report. Don't forget, go to proamericareport.com to sign up there, get my daily email, and also track all these interviewers. Dr. Jerome Corsi is a great friend of the late Phyllis Schlafly's and a friend of mine, too. He's written 25 books since 2004, best-selling author, 6 of them on the New York Times bestseller list, 2 number 1 bestsellers. He's a founder and the CEO of Corsi Nation, which I was over there just before we started talking. So much on there. Lots of his stuff, lots of other stuff. It's worth a look and check in there. So welcome back to the program, Dr. Corsi. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Ed. Good to be back with you. Thank you.
Well, it's great to have you on. And before we get to some of your more recent book and what's happening, I want to ask you about the state of America, what you've seen. You know, you have a long career of teaching. You're a professor as well as writing and all, and you've seen these, America at these crisis moments, whether it's, the after the O.J. trial, L.A. riots, all these things. What's your sense of this time? Is it being false? It feels like the fake news makes it falsely dramatic. On the other hand, as you've talked about, false flags and false drama can be really dangerous. So where are we in this country right now?
Well, I think this is an extremely dangerous time. This new book, which is the plan to remove Donald Trump, from the presidency. It's an ebook. It's on CorsiNation.com. I think it's happening. I think we're witnessing a very carefully orchestrated coup, and the objective of the coup is to get Donald Trump out of the presidency. It's also to destroy the United States of America. And I think you have to see the events come together as a whole, going back to the Russiagate when Mueller failed to find a Russian collusion connection. The people wanting to get rid of Donald Trump moved immediately to the Ukraine, and then they began with we had an impeachment trial in the Senate in February. It's hard to remember that given everything that's happened. I mean, COVID comes out and we shut down the economy, which about destroys the dollar. Now we've got violence and riots in the street. And these incidents, which I call them Ferguson syndrome, I think the plan is to have many of these throughout the summer. I don't think this violence is going to quit. I don't think it's going to stop. And I think one of the major efforts we're going to see next, especially with John Bolton's book coming out and the military questioning the mental capacity of Donald Trump, I think there'll be a move to replace Donald Trump by the 25th Amendment, saying he's mentally incapable of being president. And I explain in this book, that this is likely to happen. And everything I've been predicting so far has happened like I predicted it, Ed, and that scares me even further.
We're talking with Dr. Jerome Corsi, a best-selling author. The new book is The Plan to Remove Donald Trump from the Presidency. And also in one of the things, the more recent book, I remember 2019, you wrote Silent No More, How I Became a Political Prisoner at Mueller's Witch Hunt. And to your point, you're at the center of these things. But Dr. Corsi, is the insatiable appetite of the fake news, does it in a way work to his advantage? I mean, they move so quickly. As you point out, impeachment was only February. Then we have to go into the COVID, the Wuhan virus. Then we go into the rioting, and then we go into the economy stalled again. And they keep churning. Now we're going to have Bolton. We have a week of Bolton's, his book. They keep churning, trying. It doesn't seem to work. Is your worry, or is your book talking about how it won't work until it works?
Well, I wrote the book to warn people that I've been told before I wrote this book, the chances of it succeeding in removing Donald Trump were 100%. So that carefully orchestrated and being that carefully executed. But I wrote the book, and Trump read it, and he has read it now. It will reframe it so he can begin thinking about steps to take. And I wrote it to alert the public as to what's going on. Because I'm saying this is not about to stop. If the 25th Amendment doesn't succeed right away, we'll then find in September this COVID-20 will be hitting the United States. And by the way, already in China, there are reports coming out of Beijing that a new coronavirus has started. And they know it's new because they're saying this one comes from salmon, from fish. whereas the initial lies about the Wuhan virus were it came from bats. So there's another coronavirus starting now in China, and that'll hit the United States in about September.
We're talking with Dr. Jerome Corsi, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh, I've written a book on that too. I wrote a book on COVID-20, which is, I've got 3 ebooks up there, 4 right now.
Yeah.
On Corsi Nation. One is this plan to remove Donald Trump from the presidency, COVID-20. And then I've got one on the little red book of the Democrat socialist lies. I think we're in a cultural revolution right now, like the Mao revolution. I think that's what this is intended to be. And the other one is about how the riots are orchestrated, and that's called Rage, Race, and Riots. These are really important books. And I even today, I think last couple of decisions, it looks to me like the president's lost the Supreme Court. That even though he's put appointments on it, the entire establishment in Washington has decided that they'd be better off without Donald Trump. And the Democrats are planning, I think, to steal the election. I don't think they're going to succeed, but it's only going to be with a lot of prayer and a lot of people being aware of what's going on and refusing to allow this chaos. In the final analysis, they intend to have a cultural revolution such that, Antifa becomes the police. Police are quitting all over the country and calling in with blue flu. What police officer today wants to police in a minority neighborhood where any given encounter can ruin not only your life but your career?
Right. Yeah. No. It's reached a tipping point. I think we're talking with Dr. Jerome Corsi, a best-selling author, and it's CorsiNation.com. I'll put up on my social media the website, the section of his website that has those books, and I'll put that link up there. Dr. Corsi, let me ask you a different question about this, though. I see what we need to read and understand. What do we need to do about it? Right. I mean, right now it feels like the country is sitting back and they're saying, okay, if you say, as a guy on this show did, Black Lives Matter, a guy came on my show, he said Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization. He lost his job. Right. I mean, if you put your head up and speak against these groups, you find yourself canceled. If you put your head up and you're conservative, someone like you end up in, a year and a half of litigation or longer, where you're at the focus of a witch hunt. So what can citizens do? I mean, get involved for the fall. I mean, but specifically, how do you tell when people come up to you and say, Dr. Corsi, what do I do? I know you say buy the books, but then after that, what do we do about it?
Well, I'm not selling books. I'm doing books because I've got to get the word out. And you sell them because people don't read what they don't pay for in books. I've learned that over 25 years. If they pay for it, they're going to read it. And secondly, getting educated, seeing that this is orchestrated, that we're living in a media event that's designed to produce fear, it's designed to produce paralysis, and this can be beaten. But the choice is don't fight it, and it will enslave us. It's that desperate right now, and it's that close of an issue. And what the government is saying, with the bureaucracy is not working for Donald Trump. Even the medical doctors are saying the FDA is still trying to demonize hydroxychloroquine. Well, what's on my website, where the doctors are telling us, is that if you don't have hydroxychloroquine now and then zinc, this protocol Dr. Zelenko put together, and COVID-20 hits, a lot of people are going to die. And there's no other preventive that anyone knows of right at the moment than this hydroxychloroquine and zinc. And yet our FDA is saying it's a dangerous drug, and they're using a discredited study for the World Health Organization, which even the journal Lancet, very respected in the medical science profession, they took this article down, and yet this week
they did.
The FDA cites it.
Yeah. No, that's right. Exactly right. Well, I think it's great advice. And unfortunately, I'm out of time. But Dr. Jerome Corsi, Corsi Nation, Dr. Jerome Corsi, the New York Times bestselling author of numerous books, a couple number one bestsellers. But more importantly, he's writing prolifically now. You need to go to CorsiNation.com and check it out. Thank you, as always, Dr. Corsi, for some time.
Always my pleasure, Ed. Thank you very much. God bless.
God bless. All right, we'll take a break. Don't forget, go to proamericareport.com and check out there. Get signed up for our daily email. Be right back. Ed Martin here on the Pro America Report.